Hi everyone. So for today's task, we're going to be working on task 2G. So 2G is going to go along with the other tasks we've been working on that cover standard 40A-A3. This one's now going to help us to incorporate 4MBT5 or 4MBTB5. So illustrate and explain calculations using strategies based on place value, properties of operations, equations, and or models. So the question today is think about the multiplication sentence 32 times 4 times 25. Jeff thinks you have to start with 32 times 4. Maggie thinks it would be easier to start with 4 times 25. Who do you agree with? Justify your thinking. So we've talked about the properties of operation in class quite a bit this year. We've done distributive property, we've done commutative property, and now this one is going to go into the associative property. So thinking about how these numbers associate or go with one another. Would how we group these make a difference? Because when we're looking at this problem, 32 times 4 times 25, we can't do it all at once. We've got to think, would it be better to group it 32 times 4 first and then multiply the 25? Or would it be better to do the 4 times 25 and then multiply that times the 32? So I wanted to watch a quick brain pop video over the associative property.
Apples. Ow. Dear Tim and Moby, what's the associative property all about? From Malcolm. The associative property deals with grouping numbers and works for multiplication and addition. You may not be able to mix apples and oranges, but we can add and multiply them. Let's throw some bananas in there too. We've got 6 plus 9 plus 4 equals 19 pieces of fruit. Using parentheses like this groups the apples and oranges together. It's a rule that we always do what's in the parentheses first, so 6 plus 9 equals 15, plus 4 equals 19. Right. Even if we move the parentheses and change the order of addition, our answer still comes out the same. No matter how we arrange the addends, their sum is always 19. This is an example of the associative property of addition. For any numbers a, b, and c, a plus b plus c equals a plus b plus c. The associative property works for multiplication too, but let's check it just to be sure. 6 times 9 equals 54, and 54 times 4 equals 216. 9 times 4 is 36, and 36 times 6 equals 216. It checks out. That's the associative property of multiplication. For any numbers a, b, and c, a times b times c equals a times b times c. And that's the associative property at work. Now can I have an apple? Thanks, Bobby.
Awesome. So quick brain pop. So going back to this problem, think about the multiplication sentence 32 times 4 times 25. So I thought an example would be really good was 8 times 4 times 5. So the parentheses, always doing those first, thinking about if we multiply 8 times 4 first. Thinking about, okay, 8 times 2, 16. So then 16 times 16, 32. So now we have 32 times 5. Well, then we could break that up into 30 and 2. So 30 times 5 plus 2 times 5. So now we have 30 times 5. And I know 5 times 3 is 15. So we have 150. And I know 2 times 5 is 10. So this answer is 150 plus 10 to get us 160. Now, that could have been pretty easy for you. Some of you may have struggled with that. So if we go back to our problem, 8 times 4 times 5, we could reassociate our numbers. So instead of doing 8 times 4 first, we could do 4 times 5 first. So then we have 4 times 5 is 20, and now we have 20 times 8, and I know 8 times 2 is 16, so we now have 160. I don't know about you, but when I reassociated these numbers, this one was much easier for me than this one because I was much more comfortable with my 20 and my 8 versus my 32 and my 5. So today, as you work the problem, I want you to think about which approach is going to get you the quicker, more efficient solution. Which approach do you feel more comfortable with? So going back to our problem, Think about the multiplication sentence 32 times 4 times 25. Jeff thinks you have to start with 32 times 4. Maggie thinks it would be easier to start with 4 times 25. Who do you agree with? Justify your thinking. Well, when I think about 4 times 25, I know you guys love money, especially when you're getting allowance or money to spend, maybe from a birthday party. And I know you're really good with your 25s, and you know what 4 groups of 25 would equal very quickly. And then maybe you could use that information to help you with what that would equal times the 32. So just a thought, just a little quick clue maybe that might help you out. So let's go through this one more time. And as I do this part, we're going to be answering our questions in our Ed puzzle. So think about the multiplication sentence 32 times 4 times 25. Jeff thinks you have to start with 32 times 4. Maggie thinks it would be easier to start with 4 times 25. Who do you agree with? Justify your thinking. So right now, I want you to answer, who do you agree with? Awesome. Okay, now I want you to go through the problem thinking about justifying your thinking. Justifying, that means to explain. So right now, in complete sentences, I want you to explain to me why you agreed with either Jeff at 32 times 4 first or Maggie with 4 times 25 first. Please remember to answer in CSRQ, complete sentence, restate question, with a capitalization, punctuation. Read it to make sure it makes sense before you submit, please. Okay, awesome. Now, going into the multiplication piece, I want you to type out the equation that you chose to do first. We've typed equations for math in the computers before. This is nothing new for you. So right now, I want you to type out, did you do 32 times 4 in parentheses and then times 25? Or did you do 4 times 25 in parentheses and then times 32? I want you to type out the equation you chose to do with the associative property in order to solve. Awesome. Okay, now I want you to type your answer. What is the product to your problem? So go ahead and type that now, please. Great job, guys. Proud of y'all. Have a great day.